Hey now, y'all. How's everybody doing on a high noon broadcast? We are set to launch on a beautiful day in the Bay. I feel like we've earned this beautiful day. A lot of clouds, a lot of inclement weather, if I may. Drop an inclement might be the only time I ever say that in the history of the show. But beautiful day here in the Bay, high noon time. Great to see everybody. Had a great week of shows. Got another great one lined up for you today. We're going to talk some Giants Warriors, of course, but we're also going to talk to Andy Dolich, who is promoting this snazzy new book called Goodbye Oakland, about the history of sports in Bay Area, winning wanderlust, and a sports town's fight for survival. Andy Dolich is a great Bay Area sports historian, good buddy of mine, too. In fact, he's the man responsible for this Got My Coffee pillow right behind me, decorating the Polymac set. That was an Andy Dolich creation right there. And he's a great guy. And he's been a longtime supporter of the Murph and Mac show. And we'll talk to him in a little bit. And then also, Tony, before I say good morning to you, we're double dipping. I don't think we've ever done this before. We're giving you two guests in one show. And then we have a late edition. Very happy to welcome Rod Brooks back to the show, who's got some news he wants to drop on us and all of y'all. So very full show today. We'll do our particles of impeachment. We'll do our musical assignment. And Tony's got his bookmarks. We got all kind of stuff going on today. So Creative Tony, good morning, sir. How the blank are you?
Paulie, correcting you out of the gates. Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon.
So, I mean, we just corrected that noon part. Okay, you got me on a technicality. Good afternoon. It'll work either way. Any kind of greeting that you're comfortable with is going to work for me.
Hell yeah, dude. And also, I wish Andy Dolich, because this book, he does it with Dave Newhouse, which I'm very excited to actually dive into.
Yeah.
But I wish they were writing a book celebrating like the return of A's baseball to Oakland. But that's not what they're writing about. They're basically writing about like the death of sports in Oakland. And it's like, I mean, they're paying tribute as well, which needs to be done and continue to be done. But my goodness, dude, like, come on, man. Like, I just feel for Oakland, dude, if you think about it, right? Because remember, the Dubs left San Francisco to go over to Oakland. And then now they're back in San Francisco. So I'm excited to talk to Andy because like the press release says, he's basically like a freaking Bay Area sports like historian. So he and Dave Newhouse, check out that book, Goodbye Oakland, and we're excited to have Andy on the show. And Paulie, I want to talk some Giants. I want to talk some Dubs, Rockets. We got bookmarks. We got the particles of impeachment.
We got a lot. I got to remind you, Tony, one more time. One of my favorite. In fact, we might need to cut this up, dude. Gary Busey and Keanu in Point Break. They're sitting in a traffic jam. They're in Los Angeles. The guy comes over with the bag of oranges, and then Gary Busey looks at him and goes, "No. We got a lot. We got a lot." So, like you're saying, dude, we got a lot. Like Busey, we got a lot. And by the way, good afternoon, everybody on the comments line. Great to see everybody. Dom, John Joseph, thank you for that Black Sabbath movie, by the way, JJ. That was killer.
Wasn't that great, dude?
Well, you know what? I got to tell you the truth. Quick diversion right out of the gate. John Joseph, Creative Tony, and I, we're all brothers in Black Sabbath. I'd throw Dom in the pile there, too. And I'll tell you this much. That's going to make for some late night viewing tonight, if you catch my drift, okay? Once everything settles down and the moon goes down. Because Black Sabbath After Dark, that's what it's all about. That might be the name of my bar when I open up like a speakeasy. Black Sabbath After Dark. All we play is Sabbath round the clock, but we don't open our doors until like 11:45 p.m. And then we let people drink till about 6, and then we send them home. Tony, that's my vision. Anyway.
Dude, beautiful. Two things. That reminds me of a bar in New Orleans called Igor's. That is not just a bar. It's not just a bar. It's also a laundromat. So you can do your laundry while you're there. And I don't think it ever closes and it stays open. So like, and one of the traditions at Igor's during Jazz Fest is like, it's on St. Charles Avenue there in the Garden District. And people go running often in the morning on St. Charles Avenue. But the tradition of Igor's is if you're at Igor's, you go out and you boo all the joggers, which is really fun. You just and you do the joggers. And number two, you talked about late night viewing, dude. I went down a rabbit hole last night just in celebration of Phil and Friends at the Warfield from 1999, April 15th, 16th, 17th. My buddy Bearded Bob sent me a Steve Kimmock clip. I think it was Scarlet Begonias. And then I dove in, man, and I was like, all on YouTube. You can find the shows on YouTube, and I dove in, dude, and it's some of the greatest playing you'll ever see, dude.
That was special. That was really special. I mean, like we knew when it was happening, it was special because, first of all, it's going to remind you to reset the table for you, Tony. The emotion involved because. Those are the first shows Phil Lesh played after his liver transplant. There was a lot of concern about his health. I mean, like nobody knew what was going to happen. They did that tour with the other ones, and then all of a sudden Phil got sick, had to go in and get a liver transplant. Nobody knew if he would even pull through from that. And then he returned to the stage at the Warfield, like Tony said, April 15, 16, 17, 1999 at the Warfield. I mail ordered for those shows. I was at the post office, dude, as soon as they announced them, filling out my cards. I'm like, I need 2 for these nights. Let's go. And I got them. I always did well with Grateful Dead mail order. Thank God. But I got to tell you, Tony, you and I went to the final 2. I didn't get in night 1. I was out. I got shut out night 1, but I was there with Tony on Friday and Saturday. And when those shows are being played, Donna Jean came out, bro. We had Donna. The only time I've ever seen Donna in my whole life was at those gigs. Bam, there's Donna. I don't know. She came out of nowhere. And I felt like those are some of the most special shows I've ever seen, still to this day.
100%. And Phil's playing the Help on the Way that starts, I think, the 17th of set 1 opens the 17th. And Phil's playing and Help on the Way is out freaking rageous, dude. It's just I hadn't listened to those shows in a long time, and then to watch them again was like, oh man, this is like gold, freaking gold.
Well, we're getting a lot of relevant comments. Sorry, Tony, but how about Scarlet Fire saying Phil was a patient at the clinic where she worked?
Whoa,
so Scarlet Fire, thanks for taking care of Uncle Phil for us, man, because that was he was a precious commodity. How about Chip Lang checking in, Tony? Not a dry eye in the house. You're right about that, man. Tony, you know what else I remember? On the last night, I think it was in the second set, the final night, they did I'm going to go ahead and say a 35, 40-minute version of Unbroken Chain. I mean, this thing just had so many different passageways. It just kept going. It just kept going and going and going. And it was amazing. Anyway, Tony, good place to spend your late night viewing with some Phil and friends at the Warfield. Shout that out.
I highly recommend people dive in. It was also the first merging of the Fish and Grateful Dead worlds with Trey and Paige on stage with Phil.
Here we go. Tony, my Rain Man, Dustin Hoffman, like recall on All Grateful. And I chalk it up to this. The only reason I think I still remember like all those details, set list, things like that, is because it was just so important to me. Like that was like the most important thing to me is like, so I photographically locked in. So check this out. I'll never forget this. One day I was on the Grateful Dead message board at work at KMBR when I was still, what was I doing we were doing the morning show, dude. We were working a morning show together. And I was on the chat box or whatever you call it, discussion board. And I saw this one thread. This is what it said. I still remember this. It said, Phil Lesh is fishing for new friends. And it's spelled fishing with PH. And I'm like, that's something. I don't know what's going on, but that's something. And then the shows got announced, and I was like right at the mail at the post office filling out my cards. 2 number 10 sized envelopes with the 3x5 index card. I did it a million times in my life. And see, what was it? San Rafael Grateful Dead tickets, San Rafael, California box. What do I want to say? CS 1050? Is that what it was? I think it was. Anyway, funny thing about that, Tony, is the Grateful Dead mail order office is like right up the street from where I live now. It's really wild. It's like right where we filmed that Phil Lesh video that night when he passed away. Right over there.
Yeah, a little housekeeping. If you want to see some videos Paulie and I did from the fall with our football picks, we did one of the weeks we filmed right outside the old Grateful Dead offices in San Rafael. It was really fun. That was a fun night, man. We started raining on us too, like drizzling on us.
Sure. Cold rain and snow. I got to say this, Tony. I had no idea we were going to do like a Phil Lesh tribute at the beginning.
I know. It hit me hard. It hit me really hard, and I really miss Phil. Just like you sent me that Eddie Vedder Pearl Jam or Tom Petty clip yesterday. That hit me hard too.
Yeah,
maybe really miss Tom Petty. So I had an emotional day musically yesterday, dude.
By the way, Rags is checking in from a golf course right now, dude. He goes, I'm on the 14th hole and I'm playing horribly. Hey, Rags, I don't know how you're doing this. How are you watching us? What do you want? We on your phone? Or anyway, Rags, it's great to be with you on the course. Hit him straight, kid. Hit him straight. All right, Tony, let's get into the meat of the show today. Let's talk Long Bridge Pizza as we get the thing rolling today.
Absolutely.
In fact, I got to ask Neil Donardi. He might have been at the Phil and Friends show at the Wharf. But it's not out of the realm. Him or Andrew, maybe the both of them. I don't know. We'll have to ask. And I saw Andrew on the comments line. Rags, great to see you on the phone, brother. I appreciate the passion and the dedication. I really do. I think Rags is like our Lou Gehrig or our Cal Ripken Jr. This guy does not miss a show, regardless of the fact that he's 3,000 miles away, regardless of the fact that our night flight starts at 11 p.m. his time, and he's still on board. I love you, Rags. Have a great weekend, my brother from another. All right. Long Bridge Pizza. When Rags does come out to visit, that's going to be one of the first stops on my sightseeing tour. We're going to pull into Long Bridge Pizza. I'm going to go, Rags, grab a pie, grab a chicken parm sandwich. Let's sit down like gentlemen, watch some Giants baseball, have a couple cold beers, and talk about the vibe, the laid back vibe, and the serious pizza at Long Bridge Pizza on 3rd Street in San Francisco, south of Chase Center, just a few blocks. It's a nice, comfortable walk, 15 minutes from Chase to Longbridge and vice versa. LongbridgePizza.com is the menu. Check it out online. You can order all weekend long. They're happy to deliver throughout the city. One other thing I wanted to say, Tony, I have not hit this one point enough because I got all my like Longbridge notes. I really do. I have like 2 pages of notes I like to review. And I wanted to, and I haven't said this enough, that Longbridge can accommodate private parties up to 20 to 25 people. So if you've got a birthday, a little league gathering like Tony was talking about, sometimes it's good to take all the kids out. Longbridge is perfect for that. So drop a call to Neil and ask if they can accommodate your next party up to 25 people. They have private, they have the back room, which is great. We used it for our watch party. And then there's just all the killer food, man. There's all the great pizza options they offer, the Polymac pizza, the Nico pizza, or maybe you're just like a creative type and you want to like invent your own pie. They can accommodate that. Like, hey, I feel like having a garlic sausage and black olive. Make it happen. Chop, chop. Yeah. They're on it. They're on it. They're flipping that pie to you in 15 minutes. Tony, that's my passionate love for Longbridge Pizza. I want to give you an opportunity to speak to Longbridge as well, and then we dive into the meat on the bone today, kid. So what do you have to say about it?
Well, first of all, I love telling people about Longbridge people too. I was just talking about it last night. I had dinner at the Iron Gate with my uncles and one of their friends, who's also become a friend of mine, and I was telling them all about Longbridge, and they're excited to go. But also, just wanted to let you know that they're broadcasting this show right now every high noon Friday.
Yeah.
They'll be broadcasting our
What's
show.
up, Longbridge? What up, Longbridge?
Yeah. So if they'll have the sound on in the back room and on the TV screens back there. And also just come by, ask for Andre. He'll hook you up and get you lunch served in the back room. Bring your friends, tell a friend, spread the word. Also, next week, Fish plays Tuesday and Wednesday at Bill Graham Civic. You know what? Pre-party at Longbridge.
You'll hear a lot of Fish, too. I guarantee they'll be pumping Fish on the sound system before the gigs. I promise you that much. Yeah,
I'll tell you right now, I'll be there before the shows. Then also, Longbridge will be open throughout the entire Warriors playoff run. If you're going to any of the home games, come by for food and drinks before, okay? And if you're coming up from the peninsula, take Caltrain. Why drink and drive? Why drive? Deal with parking. Take Caltrain, get off 22nd Street, and then walk to Longbridge and walk to Chase. And finally, Longbridge is open this Easter Sunday. So say you've at brunch, say you just have enough of the family. You're like, okay, family, love you, but peace. I gotta get out. Go to Longbridge, catch the Warriors at 6:30 p.m.
Oh my God, I'm already stressed. Yeah.
Okay? All right. Hey, and also, if you want to do delivery or pickup, they can do that for you as well on Sunday. They're open Easter Sunday.
I have one last request for you, Tony. If you can help me out real quick, can you get up the Polymac Pizza art, the cover of the box, the Polymac Pizza box?
You bet.
There's a reason, because people are on the text line are asking very relevant. Thank you. So first off, I want to shout out Don Peralta. He's one of our guiding lights. He's our art director. He's our buddy, and he helps us out in a variety of ways behind the scenes. In fact, he creates pieces like this right here. All the merch that you guys are ordering, by the way, thank you so much for that.
Yes, thank you.
That's all Dom. That's all freaking Dom Peralta. He does it all. But anyway, Dom said he had the Polymac pizza last night. And then right behind him was JJ Raider. I don't know if I've seen JJ Raider before, but welcome aboard. We're going to talk Raiders with Andy Dolich in about 15 minutes. So stick around, JJ. Yeah. But JJ said, what's on the Polymac pizza? JJ, behold. It's right there, kid. You absorb that information and you go down there, you order that bad boy, and then you enjoy. That's our creation. And again, one of the highest honors I've ever received in my life. No exaggeration or sarcasm there. I mean that, dude. Having a pie named after me makes me really happy too. Yes.
And Paulie, also for those listening on the audio only versions on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and TuneIn, that pizza is tomato sauce, mozzarella, maestro sausage, shaved onion, pecorino, and Romano cheeses. Okay, so there you go, buddy. So that's the Polymac pizza, and the picture you're holding a nice pinner of a J. So I got to say that's
well, you can't have one without the other. Sometimes it's a perfect combination. All right, Tony. Real quick, your thoughts on I want to start with the Giants. I want to talk a little bit of Warriors, and then I want to get into some bookmarks, maybe even particle of impeachment before Andy Dolich, if we have time. So Giants split in Philly. I'll tell you what, dude. I'm taking it. I'll take 2 of 4 in Philly. I thought they had, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not all that upset with Philly's a tough town. It's a tough team. It's a really tough team. It's a tough place to play. The weather was awful, and they got out of there with a split. So I'm relatively happy. Jordan Hicks yesterday, tough first inning, but then he settled down. What did you think of Hicks yesterday, T?
the pitching in the early innings has been tough, except
Yeah.
well, even like
Yep.
I was looking at the ERAs for the team, dude, and everybody except for Logan Webb has got a rough ERA, dude. We got Jordan Hicks with a 6.04, Robbie Ray 4.19. That's not that bad. Verlander 6.75, dude, and Roop at 4.80. Then you have Logan Webb at 2.63 ERA. So they're starting pitching. I've been asking more from Adames. I got a little more from Adames. He's 4 for his last 18. I asked for more from Chapman. I got more from Chapman. He's 8 for his last 18. I need more from the starting pitching. The bullpen is holding their end of the bargain. I need more from starting pitching outside of Logan Webb. I need Robbie Ray to get the pants tighter. Tie him tighter, or order get a smaller size. Go down to
go out there in spandex. Maybe just wear a pair of white spandex if that's what it takes. I don't care. Give him those David Lee Roth pants. Yeah.
How about you just paint your legs white and paint the stripe on your legs?
Body paint. Body paint is that. Hey, Tony. Also, I'm already getting some concern online when I'm scrolling through Twitter and stuff like that. I see a lot of Giants because I'm on a whole bunch of Giant accounts, and I see a lot of fans saying they're already starting to worry. This hadn't even crossed my mind because it's still April, but people are already getting uptight about taxing the bullpen. I mean, it's so early in the season. I hope they're not taxed yet. I mean, is that anything we need to worry about in your mind?
No, I don't think so. I think that's what they're there for. And you just sprinkle them around, you mix and match, I'm not worried about that at all. But I am worried about the starting pitching, and I'm worried about Verlander, and I'm worried about Hicks. And you got Birdsong. He's got a sub-2 ERA. He's sitting there just waiting for his turn. He's just la 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 la, like he's just waiting there.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Very
I'm just saying. We talked about Birdsong and Hicks in the spring. Birdsong had a great spring. Hicks did not have a good spring. So and Hicks so far has been shaky. He had that one good outing in Houston. Granted, he did go 7 yesterday after his rough start, but I just need more from the first 3 innings. I need better 3 innings from our starters, Paulie, and then also Lamont Wade Jr., dude, batting a $102.
It's been a rough time.
Hold on, Paulie. 6 for 49 with 20 Ks. Now, dude, I'm just saying, I'm going to focus on the negative first before I go to the positive, because, dude, the Giants are averaging 9 Ks a game as a team. Dude, they have 186 Ks in 19 games. That is too many strikeouts, dude.
That's the kind of thing that makes Will Clark tear phone books in half, dude. That's what makes Will Clark start breaking windows. Those kind of stats right there.
Yes. Can we just get contact, please? Let's drop down more points.
Put the ball in play, dude. Put the ball in play. Get it out there. Yes.
Dude, let's move runners over, man. Let's hit the top half of the baseball. Ground balls, line drives. We don't need no stinking badges. I saw you, badges. What's up, dude? We don't need no stinking fly balls, and I don't know. The home runs will come when you're not trying to hit them, dude. I firmly believe that. Anyways,
very good. Yeah, that's what Lenny Dykstra always said. I remember this Lenny Dykstra quote because he hit a home run to win a playoff game with the Mets in '86. It was against Rod Brooks' Houston Astros. We'll talk. In fact, we got to talk to Brooksy about Houston and Golden State since we do have a Houston guy with us today. We'll preview that series. But Ryan Fong also checks in and says, Creative Tony on fire talking baseball. And I love that. I'm telling you, that's one of the secret weapons we have on the show. Tony is a great baseball guy. So, Tony, can I get some NBA stuff on the table real quick?
Yeah, real quick. Before we transfer, I just want to also tip the cap because
dude. You just stumbled onto something awesome right there, dude. Instead of pivot from now on, let's transfer. I want like one of those little busted transfers you get on Muni. Remember those little things? You get a little piece of paper. I got to transfer, dude. I'm not paying my fare. Tony, let's transfer to NBA when you're done. I love that.
Yeah,
shout out Manhattan Transfer. Shout out Manhattan Transfer. I can use it in a musical sentence, and I got to take advantage. They had some dancey pop songs back in the day. Manhattan Transfer. Sorry, Tony. Go ahead. Yeah,
dancey pop songs. I like it, dude.
It did.
And how about F the transfer portal? While we're talking transfer, how about F the transfer portal?
I don't like the transfer portal. It's effing up a lot of things in college sports, Tony. Yeah.
Dude, I remember in the tournament they asked Tom Izzo, "Hey, are you worried about the transfer portal being active during the tournament?" He goes, "I can't talk to you about the freaking transfer portal right now. I'm trying to win a tournament." Anyway. Yeah. So, but I wanted to tip my cap because that's kind of a negative rant on the Giants. I wanted to tip my cap to a few members of the Giants. Wilmer with 23 RBIs. Yeah. Yaz batting 302, 16 to 53. Fitz batting 309. He's 17 to 55. And Jung Hoo freaking Lee batting
Hooligan.
348, dude, with
He's
24 hits, man.
He's a freaking stud, that guy. He's everything they promised he would be. By the way, Sanchi, I am with you, brother, on this take right here. Tony, my guy Sanchi checking in. How about my guy Koss get a couple of knocks before he starts blazing the Koss wristbands? Bro, I saw that too. I'm like, really, Holmes? We're going with the personalized, okay, that's a little early, maybe. I had the exact same reaction, Sanchi. I feel you on that loud and clear. Hey, Tony, all your concerns about starting pitching, Logan Webb on the hill tonight in Anaheim. So hopefully he'll straighten this whole thing out. Tony, can we transfer or are you still going?
That gives me pause. And can we just start the movement now before we transfer, before we go into the transfer portal to Dubs Rockets? Can we start the movement now?
What?
Jung-Hoo Lee to be the starting center fielder for the All-Star game. Can we start it now? Just Jung-Hoo Lee. Come on, dude. Start center field for a freaking All-Star game. I love that guy, dude. And he's a great defensive outfielder too, man. Like he's not just he's doing it all. He's doing it all.
He's doing it all.
He's doing it all for my baby. A little Huey Lewis, dude.
Fine with me, Tony. Huey's always welcome on the program. Now, transferring to NBA real quick. I'm doing it up tempo because I want to do this before Andy joins us. Today, we got a couple games. This is going to be a phenomenal sports weekend. Phenomenal. It's funny we have Brooks on for so many reasons today, but I remember when I was working with Brooksy and Tony. So Rod Brooks and I did a morning show together on the Ticket 1050 in the late 90s. Creative Tony was our producer. We had a great time. The three of us together. And that's how we all kind of became lifelong friends. And I'll never forget Brooksy saying like these early rounds of the NBA playoffs are like it's like Christmas for Brooksy because he's got a point. So check it out. You got two games today. You got Miami, Atlanta, followed by Dallas at Memphis. I'm pulling for Miami and Dallas in those two games. And then tomorrow, here it comes. To quote Jeff Spicoli, dude, looks like you got the full hot order. Dude, 4 games tomorrow. And this is what Brooksy used to say. Brooksy was like, I can stay on my couch from 10 a.m. until about 8:30 p.m. watching basketball. And that's where you're going to get tomorrow. So Milwaukee at Indiana, 10 o'clock. Clippers at Denver. Nice series right there. That's going to be a really interesting series. Clippers at Denver, that's at 12:30. You got Pistons at Knicks at 3 p.m. And then you got Minnesota at Lakers at 5:30. And then the Warriors will cap off the entire weekend of action. Steph Curry is a ratings machine. No sarcasm there. The refs might not give him any call, but the highest rated NBA games over the past 10 years, I think the top 10 have all included Steph Curry. So
but why not protect him then if you're the referees? Huh?
I've been saying that. I know. It's like that's why I say he's like their greatest asset. I think he's more valuable than LeBron James. I really do. In terms of marketing, in terms of the way people view him, because LeBron has a lot of detractors. And with Steph, I got to be honest, Tony, I don't know that many people that say, oh, Steph Curry, F him, he sucks. Like it's just something you never hear. But you do hear that about LeBron. A lot of people don't like LeBron James. Anyway, I'm just throwing it out there. Food for thought.
You don't hear people saying that Steph's a flopper or a whiner or a complainer. You don't see videos of Steph sitting on the scorer's table away from the team huddle during a timeout, not even listening to what's going on. You see Steph did you see that video? I saw that earlier today of LeBron just sitting on the scorer's table.
Well, he does a lot of funky shit. Did you know he walks off the floor every time he loses a playoff series? He doesn't shake anybody's hand. He just walks off the floor. I don't know if you noticed that. And when he was confronted about that, because he's done it his entire career, does not shake hands, walks off by himself. And then when they asked him about it, his answer, you ready for this? Here was his answer. I got to get back to the locker room as soon as possible so I can restart my recovery process. Bro, I'll find the clip. If you don't believe me, I'll find the clip. I'll bookmark that shit if I have to, because but that's typical of LeBron. He says a lot of things that like people, upset people, including me. And he ought to be classier. Yeah.
When you said he walked off the floor, it made me think of walked on down the hall.
Dude, what do you want to talk? Lizard King on a Friday? Always welcome. Always welcome. Mother, yes, son. I want to blank you. You know what I mean? Like the whole thing. Man, think about that. Father, yes, son. I want to. You know what I mean? The whole bit. Yeah. This is the end. And he walked on down the hall. Yeah, screaming it. You know what I mean?
There goes LeBron. He walked on down the hall.
Yeah. Man, when that
Oh
hit the
man,
scene, dude, that must have like people must have been like, "What is going on in the world?" I got this singer
yeah.
now talking about banging his mom. What are we doing out here, mother? Yes, son. Yeah, yeah. Think about it. You know what I mean? That's a big step for music. That's a big step right there.
Oh
Yeah.
man, can you
We went,
actually? There's
we went from "I want to hold your hand and she loves you," yeah, 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 to "Mother, I want to blank you." Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like, wow, we're really getting risque now, man. Lizard King, cheers, rest in peace.
Oh man, yeah, rest in peace, dude. And rest in peace, Val Kilmer, who did a great job playing the
Oh,
Lizard King in
yeah,
the Doors, man.
yeah,
God, the fact
yeah.
that we lost Val, man, that's a tough one. Val was just, I feel like I don't think he got the love he deserved as an actor. I really
I'm gonna
don't.
tell you something else, Tony. Let me tell you something else about Val Kilmer. Rest in peace. Not only Val Kilmer,
Mhm.
great job, and I thought he did a great job as Jim Morrison. Bro, how many guys are left standing in the world today named Val? I need
Right,
more Vals,
right.
dude. How come? I mean, name another one. I can't.
Well,
Give me another Val.
I was gonna say, shout out Val's restaurant in Daly City that is no longer.
Oh,
Val's
no.
was a great spot. I mean,
See,
you want to talk about a great spot. It was kind of like Daly City, right off of 280, kind of near the Daly City DMV, if you want to go like really local. But it's gone. But they used to
yeah,
do team buses to Niner games. They would just take all the people that wanted to meet at Val's and have breakfast and have a pop and then get on
yeah,
the
yeah,
bus. They would,
yeah.
but Val's is no longer. So tip of the cap to Val's. Rest in peace.
Hey,
I can't
yeah,
think of another Val. I can't
I
think of
can't
another
either.
Val.
I can't either. And Noemi checking in right now. It's based. This is the end based on the story of Oedipus. Noemi. That's
Yeah,
why. That's
see,
why I love seeing you every day. Stuff like that, dude. The
no,
story
I
of
mean,
Oedipus.
yeah,
All
that
right,
is just great stuff. And by the
Tony.
way, just to tease, later on in the show, we're going to do our musical assignment, and a bunch of you sent in your musical assignments, and I will honor all of them
I
later on in the
appreciate that.
show.
Yep.
I appreciate you all taking the time to send them in. So, oh, dude, Rising Wolf says Valerie. Is that Steve Winwood, right?
Yeah, dude, great call. Very great call. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
Valerie.
good job, Rising Wolf. So, hey, before we get to Dolich, Paulie, Andy Dolich join us at the bottom of the hour. Dubs Rockets, right?
Yes,
Like,
yes, yes.
I was thinking about this. I'm assuming, and I'm not a basketball coach. I coach fourth grade hoops. That's as far as I go. Dude, I feel like they're not going to let Butler or Curry beat them, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So it's like, and by the way, Noemi, I see your comment. I got you from Blue Sky. I saw it, and we're good to go. And I love your musical assignment. But I feel like the pressure is going to be on like Pajemski and like Moody and Draymond in the
Oh yeah,
starting five
supporting
because
cast gonna have. Yeah, absolutely, they're gonna have to step up. Yes,
right,
yes.
because I feel like the Rockets are like, hey, we're not going to let Curry and Butler beat us, and we're
Well,
going to do everything we can. We're going to double team the shit out of them. So it's like,
okay.
yeah. Oh, and by the way, in our tribute to the SHIT word yesterday, I forgot, Paulie, and this is I got called out on this. I forgot to do this. So just in honor
Yeah, man.
of our SHIT tribute.
Come on, don't bullshit me.
Okay, people called
No,
that
of
out
course.
yesterday, and I didn't
Of course,
play it
thank
yesterday, so I apologize.
No,
But
you're
that's
good, man. You're good.
I feel like Moody and Pajemski and Draymond, and then the supporting cast on the bench, GP2,
Okay.
and well, not Kaminga, but maybe Guy Santos and Buddy Heald, and get some buddy ball going. You know what I'm saying, P?
I do. I would say this though, and I'm glad you said all this, but I think that I think Miami. I think that Houston's going to have to make a decision actually, like because you can't double team two guys at the same time. They can't double team
Right.
Butler and. I think they're going to mug Steph every night. They're going to be beating the shit out of Steph all game long this entire series. He knows it. We all know it, and it's going to be tough to watch because he's going to get his ass kicked. It's going to be really tough to watch this, but. I think that's where things do open up for Butler. Now, if they do put the clamps on Butler, Pajemski can get hot, dude. We've seen it. He can have big scoring nights. If he gets the hot hand, I would utilize Quentin Post a lot in this series based on his size, his ability to work in the paint, be a presence, and that kid can freaking shoot. So there's some offensive threat from him. Listen, this is where Steve Kerr is going to have to get into his laboratory and figure out the matchups that are going to work for him. But again, like you also said, it doesn't sound like we're going to see Kaminga. It's crazy. I thought we might see him a little bit in this series just to see like what he can do for the team. But if it's as bad as I think it might be, Rags, if it's as bad as it might be behind the scenes, maybe we're not going to see him. Maybe we're not going to see him. So we'll see how that unfolds.
I just realized we have a little bit of a conundrum with Rod Brooks coming on later on in the show after Andy Dolich. Is that Rod he's Houston boy. He's a Rockets guy. So we're going to see like where. Is he more of a Bay Area guy now because he's lived more than half of his life here, or is he going to go to Rockets ball? I'm assuming he's going to go Dubs, but we'll put him on the spot later on in the show, Paulie.
We will, and I want Rod Brooks to play the musical assignment game with us too. Do we have time for particles of impeachment, or do we go right to Andy? I don't know if he's ready yet.
Andy is sitting in the waiting room, in the green room. He's enjoying all the fabulous refreshments we left out for him. So we're gonna let's bring Andy onto the show now, and then we can do impeachment and musical assignment to close the show at the end of the show. Okay.
Sounds good, man. Sounds good. All right, so let's welcome him. This beautiful book I hold in my hand here, Goodbye Oakland, Winning, Wanderlust, and a Sports Town's Fight for Survival, written by my buddy Andy Dolich, and of course, established and longtime Oakland Tribune sports writer Dave Newhouse. Both of these guys are great Bay Area sports historians. So let's bring them onto the show. Andy Dolich, haven't been, there he is.
Yeah, there we go. Hey,
How we doing, Andy?
Tony, Paulie, let me first thank you for the champagne and caviar that you provided.
My pleasure.
Before I came in, the butler staff was extremely well behaved.
As they should be.
I appreciate it.
Well, you're always welcome, Andy, and we try to make it as comfortable as possible for all our guests. So your wish is our command, and thanks for giving us time today. This book is a really interesting read, and I recommend people pick this up, especially if you're interested in the history of Oakland sports. Goodbye, Oakland.
I thank you for the promotion, and the timing is pretty darn good because you are holding the hardback version, which was published in 23.
Yep.
And as we know, the A's write a news story, some believable, many not, about what's happening in their future.
Yeah.
And the paperback version, new and improved with additional stories by Mr. Newhouse, who does know how to write sports, and me, I don't know. That comes out officially on the 22nd of this month. But you just go on to Amazon or any place and bingo, you can get it. And for those cost-conscious fans, it's less expensive than the hardback.
Well, Andy, let me ask you, I guess to start with now, the book is broken up into chapters on a lot of the greatest personalities in Oakland sports history. For example, Charles Finley, Al Davis, Dave Stewart, Joe Lacob, Rick Barry, guys like that. Tony La Russa, one of our favorite guys. But it also kind of just brings back a lot of memories. So what was the ultimate goal or what did you guys want to achieve by putting this book together?
I went to Dave about 2.5 years ago, and clearly one of the better sports writers, commentators, those with knowledge of everything that happened in the Bay Area. 34 years at the Oakland Tribune when there was an Oakland Tribune.
Yeah, I know.
Yes. I have worked on the inside a number of sports teams, the A's and the Warriors for a bit, and others in sports. And I felt that what was ongoing, and guys, this sort of hit me when the Vegas talk became real.
Yeah.
When Ford Terminal became Terminal. And I said, wait a second, nobody has told the story of a major American city that is on the brink of losing 3 major sports teams. And we can throw in the California Golden Seals, which most people would not remember.
Yeah.
That would be 4. Not very many cities have all 4. Now you have a city that's going to have Zippo, 0, Nunca, nothing. And what we started talking about is that this just wasn't John Fisher. This was many of the personalities that you talked about. It was elected officials, commissioners, other team owners, lack of corporate support that led to a position today. Raiders, Gonzo, Warriors playing across the bay, and everybody biting their internet. It's going to happen with Houston. Love the fact that you made all the predictions before I came up. Most fans don't even have to watch the game. They know how it's going to come out. Hopefully it's a Warriors win. But similar to your question, Dave and I wanted to tell the decade-long story of how a city of significance in the Bay Area loses all of its teams and get as much insider knowledge from aides anything to do.
Creative Tony, what do we do? What do we do? He's frozen up on my end right now, unfortunately. How did,
Oh, there he is. Andy, come if he's there.
Yeah.
I'd love to get a tour of Andy's office, by the way, or whatever room he's in. Look at all the memorabilia.
That's available. This is my global office.
Nice.
There are many items that I could show you. I may open it up to the public at some time in the future.
There you go.
Yeah, there's some stuff there that be valuable.
Let me ask you this, Andy. Let me ask you this. Now, I really feel for the sports fans in Oakland. Just the great fans. The Raiders had great fans, obviously, well documented. The A's, extremely passionate fans. And I cannot blame them for starting to not, when they stopped going to the ballpark, I totally understood it. I'm like, why would they want to support this jackass who's trying to he's treated their team like dog crap for years, and now he's going to threatening to move him out of town. But that leads me to my next question. Andy, do you think, because I'm not so sure about this, I'll believe it when I see it. Do you think they will actually follow through and wind up in Las Vegas? Is that real in your mind?
Yes, it is real, unfortunately. But until a stadium is open and people are parking and walking and buying overpriced items, that is a question mark. And when you are in this 3-year or maybe 4-year summer vacation that you're in West Sacramento, there is a question mark. Is all the money in the bank at $1.75 billion? No, it isn't. We've seen a bunch. Supposedly the final design for the armadillo or whatever it's going to be called has been approved, but Vegas would approve anything, right?
Yeah, right.
To get it on this 9-acre site. There is, there are groups in
Come on, Andy. It's coming.
And so I think from a big standpoint, done deal. They'll find the money. From a reality standpoint, let's see. Already, the former president, Dave Cavell, said every single game will be sold out in Las Vegas.
Okay,
At what, 33,000 seats. And the A's also said before the season started in Sacramento, every single game was sold out. Well, that hasn't happened early on in the season. And the A's are playing decent baseball early on. Right. And they have some name players. But that's all revenue sharing more than winning games, although it will help. So in the Vegas situation, I happen to think the largest question is going to come to where is John Fisher getting the rest of the money that is necessary to build a stadium that today stands at $1.75 billion. And the three of us know it's going to cost a lot more than that.
Yeah.
Because the architecture of it is completely new and different. The only thing that I can see that's similar is the Sydney Opera House, and you ain't singing arias in Las Vegas.
Right. Hey, Andy, as you go through the book, again, it was one thing. There's so many cool moments and nuggets of information that kind of jumped out at me and reminded me when I was a little kid, like watching those Kenny Stabler Raider teams. Tony, check this out. For example, when Andy was writing about the 70s Raiders, there's this one little nugget in there about Mark Van Egan, one of their fullbacks in the 70s.
Oh, yeah, I remember him.
Okay, how about this? The fact that now I think there's only one fullback left in the NFL, and he plays for the 49ers. Back then, it was a position all the teams utilized. Mark Van Egan, as a fullback, rushed for 1,000 yards in a season. That blew my doors off. I was like, wow, football has changed a lot. But that brings me to the question for you, Andy, about, in your mind, having experienced all the eras, like you had the Barry Zito, Tim Hudson era of Oakland A baseball. That was an incredible bunch of guys that sadly never climbed all the way up the mountain. And then in the 70s, the last time I'm convinced we'll ever see this in baseball, the Oakland A's winning back-to-back World Series.
Charlie Finley made that happen with the tiniest front office going, and you got to give Finley credit. Nobody came to the games, I think, guys, 1 year in 3 World Series did they draw 1 million fans.
Unbelievable.
That has to be a record.
Yeah.
Yeah. But in your mind, Andy, what was the real golden age of sports in Oakland? Like, was it the 70s or like what was the period where it was like, wow, this is as good as it gets in your mind?
Well, when it was all together, and I look at attendance, marketing, support, domination in the market. Remember, there was a baseball team across the bay. There was a football team, and there was the Raiders coming and going and coming and going. And there was the Warriors who hadn't quite climbed the top of, Mount Curry just yet.
Yeah.
To me, this was it. This was the top of the mountain. Let me see if I could get it straight here, right? This is when we all had it going. Great crowds, incredible human being in William Martin from West Berkeley. And we had these guys.
Oh yeah. Nice.
These guys who I don't know that baseball has anything like that today. You have got great power hitters on team, Shohei, many others, but you have these unique personalities. And, to a certain extent, you had Moneyball, right?
Yeah.
Michael Lewis, Billy Beane, analytics and metrics. But these guys never had a World Series ring on their finger, as far as I know. And Paulie, you talked about it. 72, 73, 74, whatever, those years, the A's, 3 consecutive World Series.
Insane.
With incredibly great players.
Yeah.
And Vida and Catfish and Blue Moon and Sal and Reggie. And Finley, what I never understood, guys, Finley was a great self-promoter, but he never promoted in the market. And never really drew the kind of fans, the numbers that he should have. And we just went to the fans when the Haas family purchased the team from Schott and Hoffman in late 80. We just decided, well, wait a second, we're not just the Oakland A's, we're the Northern California A's.
Right.
And that changed the dynamic of being able to compete against the Giants from an attendance standpoint. And it didn't hurt that in 81, even though there was a baseball strike, we won our first 11 games in a row.
Yeah.
And 17 out of 18. And people went, holy crap, look at those guys play. Look at Ricky and look at what they're doing. So you have this dynamic that people look at, little old Oakland, they can't get it done. And you look at the World Championships, the great players of these teams. And I would just say, long answer to your short question, which is the mark, Tony and Paulie, of quality journalists. Ask a short question and then let the guest bloviate on for a long period of time. And then you can look at your watch and say, well, we have 30 seconds left. We'll see you later.
It's all good.
Yeah.
Tony, go ahead, Tony.
Andy, the beauty of this format is we don't have a clock, so we can go as long as we want. So that's good, number one. And number two, I have to ask about how was your emotional state in writing this book? Because I get angry just the fact that that we have to defend Oakland, that we have to say goodbye to Oakland, that people have said goodbye, because it's not like it wasn't Titletown. I mean, what was 10 championships in Oakland. And it was a great sports town, remains a great sports town with the Oakland Roots and the Oakland Ballers starting to do their thing. But I just wanted to know, how was your emotional state? Did you have like teardrops on the paper as you're typing or on the keyboard? Like I would have been an emotional mess writing this book.
I would just say that, and you gentlemen both know it, when something doesn't go well, it's a kick in the fill in the blanks, right?
Right.
Yes.
Well, you could fill in the blanks of any body part below the breastbone.
Yeah.
And that's how I felt. Every day when I would read, well, we're doing this and we're doing that. And, the Warriors, if you just take a step back, and you look at all the different constituencies that we talk about in the book, and not just one person, an owner of a team or a commissioner, you need negative teamwork or positive teamwork. And so the Warriors, Joe Lacob, Peter Guber, and the other owners, they wanted a Taj Mahal.
Yeah.
They wanted an incredible place for their team and entertainment, because sports and entertainment are really joined at the hip. They're the same.
Correct. Yeah.
And so I take nothing away. I don't think there was ever a negotiation between Warriors ownership and the city and the county in Oakland and Alameda to say, let's build a new arena. It's, sorry guys, it's been nice, we're out of here.
That's
and
right.
I think they played their first game at their new building after 360 some odd sellouts at the Oakland game. That's got to be some sort of sports record. In terms of the Raiders, I believe that was a heavily NFL structured, strategic move. It wasn't Mark Davis staying up till 2 a.m. crafting plans on his computer how he was going to leave. First of all, in Mark's defense, there was never going to be a new football stadium built in Oakland.
Right.
To concentrate on the A's, and the Raiders were back and forth. We're moving to LA, we're coming back, we're going back. So the league, I believe, said Vegas. Wow. Gambling, legalized gaming, all-star games, Super Bowl. We gotta go. And football is easy, as far as I'm concerned, 9 games. And if you're freezing your ass off in Buffalo and there's a weekend in Vegas, are you getting on a plane and coming for 3 or 4 days? Yes, you are. And you just see the dynamic of fan bases at Raider games, especially since they're not playing very well recently. And in terms of the A's, I call them the Bedouin ballers, because they were looking everywhere. We're going to Fremont. We're going to Laney College. We're going to the Coliseum. We're going to Howard Terminal. We're going to
Jack London Square.
Aircraft carrier and the Alameda Naval Air Station.
Oh, right.
Was any of that serious?
Yeah, right. Right.
And then when the Vegas opportunity came up, they went, Vegas, yeah, that's great for baseball. So they immediately aligned with Rob Manfred, who didn't really care that much about Oakland by his public statements. And the other owners said, the Giants clearly wow, we can have a one-team market. That's the 6th most significant economic engine in the United States, in Northern California. Boom. See you later. And then you look at lack of leadership in the elected officials. And in the book, you look at Willie Brown and the dynamic energy that he brought to building, at that time, Pac Bell Park.
That's right.
You look at city leaders in the mid-60s that were able to build a magnificent Coliseum. An arena and a Coliseum. And gents, I think the entire cost was $35 million.
Wow. Oh my God. Yeah. It's insane.
I could be checked on that. I could be wrong. And these days there are cities and multi-billionaires that go, I want one of these things. So, John Fisher, whose family is worth a conservative $3 billion, he could have afforded to knock down the Coliseum and build a brand new one. Easily. And in my mind, create an East Bay, Mission Bay. Look at the magnificent miracle that, the ballpark, the arena, the real estate, the whole environment is over there. It's a party every day. Now, would Oakland have been a bit of a challenge? Yes. Could it have been overcome? Heck yeah.
Yeah. Well, Andy, listen, it was great catching up with you today. I want to encourage everybody to pick up a copy of the book, Goodbye Oakland, Winning, Wanderlust, and a Sports Town's Fight for Survival, available on Triumph Books. Pick it up anywhere books are sold. And Andy, always a pleasure chatting with you. And I got to say, I've been reading it. I've been really enjoying it. There's a lot of cool stuff in here. So
well, I thank you for the promotion. It's always good to be with you and Tony. You know, I rarely speak out publicly on anything that's controversial. So
yeah,
anytime you want me, right? And we got a groundbreaking in Las Vegas in June, right? According to new team president Mark Bedane.
It's what they say. We'll see.
Yeah. Now, those groundbreakings, you could break ground or break wind anytime you want.
That's right, man.
But where are you going to start to build that place? And incidentally, if I want to buy season tickets, where do I go? And the other point I'd leave you with, having been involved in a few rights deals like the FedEx Forum in Memphis that we did with FedEx, with all of the casinos, with all the money, with all the global finance. Shouldn't the A's already be talking publicly about naming rights for their new ballpark?
Great point. Of course.
Do you hear anything?
No. Silent as a church, man. You don't hear any of that talk, right? Which kind of indicates to me, that's why I said earlier, I'll believe it when I see it. And I don't know where that whole thing is going.
I would make a prediction which will be worth nothing on the national betting platforms. There will be an NBA franchise playing a regular season game in Las Vegas in a building before the A's throw their first official pitch of a major league team in Las Vegas.
Okay, good way to wrap it up, man. Yeah. And again, Andy, it's a pleasure, man. Always like chatting with you. Keep up the great work. Keep that sense of humor. And anytime you need us to jump on and talk about anything you're working on, let us know. It'll be great to have you anytime.
Let's team up and do paid tours of our background stuff that we have in our offices. We'll never have to work again. See you, Jen.
Bye-bye,
Andy.
Thank
you, Andy.
Andy
Dolich.
Thank you.
Have a nice weekend, Andy. And I would have gone longer with him, Tony, because he's a historian. He's full of great information. And the book is really cool. I mean it. Like, I was reading the Tony La Russa chapter. I was reading the Al Davis chapter. And you know what? I got emotional because I wound up missing those guys. I'm like, damn, I miss Al Davis. I miss Tony La Russa. Ricky Henderson, some of the greatest sports individuals, coaches, managers in the history of organized sports have gone through Oakland and made their names and reputations in Oakland. So it sucks. I think Tony, you and I share this one quality. I've never been a guy who's such a San Francisco sports snob that I hate the Oakland teams. I never felt that way. I always thought it was really cool. Like, there were times when the Giants would be on a road trip and my kids were little, and then I was like, yeah, you guys want to go catch a baseball game? Let's go catch an A's game today. And we'd like go over and watch some A's baseball. Like, it was just great to have them here. And the Raiders are the Raiders, and the Warriors, I mean, they're still here, but I know the Oakland fans feel betrayed. So there's a lot of great stuff in this book. Please do pick up a copy if you're a Raider fan, A's fan, and you want to relive some of that stuff, because it's a killer book. Now, Tony, it's a Friday. Yes.
As a Bay Area sports fan, I feel betrayed. That's why I was asking him about is like how emotional must have been to write that book, because like you were saying, you were getting pissed off. I want to handle some business, and I really appreciate Andy coming on. That was great. I think it was Steve Bisecchio on the comment line said 10 out of 10 for Andy's deadpan delivery, and just gold.
That's his whole thing. Yeah, no, that's his whole thing. He's dry. He's very sarcastic. Yeah, no, that's his whole delivery. I dig Andy, man. He's like his stuff works slow, but it's got like a secret punch to it. Yeah.
And also, I want to handle some business. So what we're learning on the show is we get supers during interviews, and it's hard to kind of
you can't interrupt the interview. Yeah, I saw those.
But I don't want to. We appreciate the supers, so I want to get them on the show now. So here we go. First of all, we have Harry Johnson checking in, and he says, "Play Tekashi."
We will play Tekashi.
Rod Brooks is in the green room. He's actually getting fanned with palm leaves as we speak.
Well, I set that up specifically for Brooksy. I know you got to tan that frame down. Yeah.
Cool. So if we can do like an abridged Tekashi real quick, Paulie, could you just give us like
a bridge?
Yes. Yeah, like a quick version of Tekashi.
Abridged. Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, Tony.
Yeah.
We're going to transfer to Rod after this. We're going to transfer?
Yes, we have a couple more supers to get to, though. That's the only thing.
No problem.
Harry Johnson, a few different times says, play Tekashi. Well, there's a second play Tekashi from Harry. And then we have a third play Tekashi from Harry. So, Harry, thank you for the supers, dude. You just got some Tekashi. Thank you. And then Patty from Napa, she couldn't stay on the show. She's got a meeting with the big dog, but she says, happy Easter to everybody. Love you all. And I'm just skimming through real quick. And I believe I just took care of business, Paulie. And I think Rod is finally done with the green room session. He finished all of the M&Ms that we put out for him too. And if we want to bring him to the show, I do.
Can I read Jamar's comment though, real quick before you say hi to Brooks? My guy Jamar Stamp checking in. Andy's humor is great. Basically called the A's Vegas Stadium a fart in the hot desert wind. I couldn't have said it any better myself, Jamar. Thank you, man. Yes, and now we have another guest. This is the first time we've ever done this in the history of our show, the entire 3-month history of the Polymac Particle Show. Actually, we have come a long way, dude. Well, I remember the first earliest shows we did, it was like Scotch tape on the walls and stuff. It's coming along, kids. We're moving this thing along. But anyway, one of our favorite guys to always hang out with and talk to. Do you got something else, Tony, before we do Rod?
Yeah, just two things real quick. I want to say SCP-85 says, what's up, fellas? We're spreading particles at the Giants game tonight and tomorrow. Nice. Going to the Giants-Angels game. So thank you, SCP-85. And then, Paulie, this is a Rising Wolf request, and Rod might be down with it. There's not many guests you could start an interview off with Brooks. He's probably the right one. He's wondering if you can greet Rod with Satan. Wondering if Satan could greet Rod instead of you. Just curious.
Why don't I bring him in? Hold on. Let me, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll intro Rod as Satan. Hey, Brooksy, hold on. Sorry, we're doing a special request here. All right, hold on. Let me get my new, because Brooksy came over to my house it was last week, and I was showing him the gear. And Tony, we hadn't hooked up the soundboards yet, the mixers, but I was pointing it out to Rod. I go, Rod, there's the new mixer. Tony and I are going to be working on this thing. So hold on. Let me see if I can do this real quick, as I like to honor requests. Okay, here we go. So I'm just introducing Rod as Satan. That's all they want.
Yeah, welcome. If Satan could welcome Rod to the proceedings, that'd be great.
Not a problem. All right, so let me assume the identity of Satan, then I'll come back to Paulie Mac and I'll talk to Brooksy. Hold on.
Here's the situation. First of all, I understand it's Easter Sunday, so the Dark Prince says, Happy Easter, y'all. Even Satan himself likes an occasional chocolate bunny. Come on, let's be serious. So Rod Brooks, one of my longtime friends and associates in the Bay, has been enough to join Paulie Mac. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Brooksy by the Bay, Rod Brooks, welcome.
All right, Brooks, I'm back. Anyway, welcome aboard, Brooksy. Satan was in the house. They were asking special requests. I got to honor those requests. But Rod Brooks joins us on Polymac Particles. He's been a recurring guest. We always love talking to Brooksy. So welcome aboard, man. I like your new mic, Brooksy. Looking good.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. I'm trying to get like y'all. A couple of things. It has always been a lifelong dream to be introduced by the Prince of Darkness, Beelzebub, Lucifer. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
old Nick, Satan himself. So
old Nick,
you made a young boy's dream come true, and I didn't expect for that to happen today. For reasons we will get into shortly. I understand why you have to pay off the supers, so don't apologize for me waiting in the green room. Which, by the way, green room, full service operation, very nice. But don't apologize for handling those supers, because I have an understanding as to why they are so important right now.
Go ahead, Tony.
No, Brooksy getting in the mix. Brooksy, do you want to start off your guest hit with us with some news, or do you want to wait till the end? Do you want to? I'll let you make the decision whether or not.
Terms, yeah.
No, let's get it out, because this has been truly a labor of love. I have been, with the encouragement of you guys, and I want to start by saying thanks and much love to both of you for encouraging me to do this. And sort of holding my hand along the way through this process. You know, Paulie, as you mentioned, I did come to your crib last week, and when I saw the Roadcaster, is that what you use? When I saw the Roadcaster, I'm like, oh yeah, these dudes will have a lot of fun with that toy. But I want to thank you guys for getting me on the track and pushing me down the track of doing a YouTube show. I said I wouldn't do it. I didn't want to do it. The only way I was going to do it if I could do it with my friends, and if I could do it my way. I'm doing it with my friends. Got a new YouTube show that's going to start live on Monday. We're going to go live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday
Nice.
at 8 o'clock on YouTube. I don't need this here, but on YouTube. It is called Quality Hang with Rod Brooks and Friends. And I don't put the and friends part there just to fill out the logo, which, by the way, shout out to Dom for creating the logo, man. He is an absolute genius. But I really was about doing this with my friends, and you know, having you guys as friends push me along. My good friend Marcus Osborne is going to be my co-host, my partner in crime. A lot of my friends have been a part of the forming of this, and you know, the birthing of this baby. So I'm so excited to do it. I'm so ready to do it, and this is going to be a whole lot of fun, man.
Hey Brooksy, first things as again, we're all learning and growing each day with this new audio visual combo. If you could try and refresh your screen, because we got your audio, but your visual is frozen. And dude, I'm glad it's you frozen and not me or Paulie, because you're the handsomest of the three of us.
That's no question. Dude,
so a frozen Rod is better than than a frozen Paulie or a frozen Tony. So then if Brooksy come back into the mix. And in the meantime, until we get Brooksy back, I want to give Rising Wolf some love. He's a super, and Rising Wolf, he asked for the request of Satan, and thank you, Rising Wolf, for the super, dude. Love you, brother. And also, Steve Bisecchio says Satan put a spell on Brooksy, which is hilarious. But I'll get Rod back up here in a second here. Once he gets back up. But that is great news. Isn't that great news, Paulie?
Well, it is great news. But he's welcome. I mean, this is the thing. Like when all of these great kind of personalities and show hosts found their way out of KNBR, you know, this is a situation we all found ourselves in kind of unexpectedly, and it was like none of us wanted to stop working. We all still have a lot to say. We all still love all the games and the sports, and we love hanging out with each other and talking to you in the audience. So we started getting these ideas on paper, which with the help of Jeremiah Crow, who is in Las Vegas, who we worked with at KNBR. And it was his idea and vision to say, like, guys, why don't we all get on the same page and launch like a new endeavor together? And Rod Brooks, I'm so happy that he's going to be part of it now on the Bay Area Sports Collective. He will fit in beautifully with us. So Rod Brooks, Paulie Mack, Tom Tolbert, Jumpin' Johnny Lund. I mean, and the roster will continue to grow, folks. This is not the end by any means. This is really the beginning. I mean, like I said about our show, Tony, we're only 3 months into our own history. And, you know, as this year unfolds, I think what you're going to see is more and more names joining our roster. Yeah, it's unfortunate we had some technical hangups today, Tony. What's the status of Brooksy over there? Can we get his picture back?
I told Brooksy to leave the studio and re-enter. So I'm waiting for him to re-enter. But in the meantime, Paulie, I want to share one other thing that you were texted yesterday, and more particles that were spread in Philadelphia.
Oh my God, this is incredible! Yes, thank you for remembering.
I'm going to present it, and you can just talk about it, because this is a great photo. Look at that photo, dude. Please explain.
These are two of my favorite people on the planet. So obviously, to the left, the one, the only, the beautiful, the talented Kate Scott. She is not only one of the best at what she does, calling play-by-play for the Philadelphia 76ers, she's also one of the greatest human beings I've ever crossed paths with, and I don't say that lightly. She is a spectacular human being. And so Kate Scott, being the Philly girl that she is now, she decided, hey, my Giants are in town. I got to get out there. The gentleman to the right, who in his own words, the first time I met him, Tony, he was like at the NBC building, and he goes, hey, I'll come down and I'll bring you back into the studio. And we go, well, how are we going to know what you look like? Here's what he said. He goes, I'll be the guy that looks like a hungover Chris Christopherson. Okay. So that was his own description of himself. And that's Chris Kelly, my buddy Chris Kelly. from Saturday Night Live. He is the stage manager at Saturday Night Live, and he's been there for, I think, 25 years. He worked on all the MTV Unplugged. He is a behind-the-scenes legend. He really is. He's got Eddie. You want to talk about Eddie Vedder, by the way, dude? This guy's got Eddie Vedder stories that make your head spin, and they're all because Eddie Vedder.
That's why I want to get him on the show again, because he's a storytelling machine. He downplays it, but he's got like a whole library of stories in that brain of his. And by the way, when we got this photo, and by the way, Brooksy's back. I'm going to bring Brooksy up in a second.
Sure.
When you sent me this yesterday, I was like, that picture just is nothing but pure joy. I just see nothing but pure joy.
Yeah.
So I'm so glad you sent me that, Paulie, and I'm so glad she sent it to us. And God bless Kate and Chris, and we'll get them both back on the show. In the meantime, let's bring Brooks back. Let's go.
Take two, Rod Brooks. There's Brooks. Yeah, sorry, Brooksy. We've been having some weird technical stuff today, but see, that's kind of like part of the new reality that we're in. And by the way, little advice from me to you real quick, because I did this a couple of weeks ago. I think I told you this when you came over last week, but I upgraded my internet speed to like the highest freaking jet engine speed they have. And that'll help things not get frozen up, or that extender, hook up that extender. That'll help too. But the idea is that you try to give a broadcast without those kind of glitches, but it happens occasionally. Brooksy, it happened. Not the end of the world.
He's muted.
So,
hey, Rod, I think you might be muted.
Tell him on the screen how to do it. Yeah, see, these are all the new. Yeah.
On the bottom, there's a microphone icon. Do you see that, Brooksy? Microphone icon. I'm not getting Brooksy. Shoot.
I don't know what's going on either. Anyway, so at least we can do this. I know Brooksy is with us here physically, and he's here in spirit. The meeting, we got glitches all over the place today, but the big news is, and I'm going to repeat this for Brooksy's sake, is that Rod Brooks is launching his new show, Quality Hang with Rod Brooks and Friends. He will be back with us talking sports, thank goodness, on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And if we can't hook up Rod, we'll say goodbye to him. It's not the end of the world. And we'll get the message out on his behalf. Thank you, Brooksy. Hey, dude. Hey, we freaking love you, man. And we'll get it all tightened up. Kisses out for you as well. Brooksy, have a great weekend. Rod, and don't worry, we'll do this again. We'll get you back next week, and we'll do it again right.
Brooksy, next week. We'll do it next week, brother. We love you, and can't wait for Quality Hang. Quality Hang starts next week. Monday night, right, Brooksy? Monday night? Yes, Monday night. Monday night, 8 o'clock. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Brooksy's going Quality Hang with Rod Brooks and Friends. He is one of the greatest people you'll ever meet. Just like he's in the Kate books. He's in the Kate Scott, area. We have just legendary, wonderful people. And so we root for Rod every single step of the way. And it's just it's no shock that he's coming on board.
It's no big deal. Brooksy, have a great weekend, man. We'll talk to you very soon. And the audience is already very excited. For example, James Lizzotti, great show, Brooks. Great to see you. We got Noemi with Quality Hang, One Love for Brooksy, Pine Needle. The devil did it, dude. That's what you get. You call in Satan. You got to behold the consequences. I mean, you guys asked. I tried to deliver the good for the content of the show, or the content for the good of the show. But of course, there's Patty. She's going to subscribe. And that's the thing. You can definitely help Brooksy out by subscribing to his show. And it's unfortunate. We had some problems with Andy today, too. Tony, I just want to make sure, that's not on our end, is it? Because we got all this shit now. Yeah, it shouldn't be.
We've got the highest internet speed. We've got extenders. We've got, sometimes I
got stuff you guys don't even know what they invented yet. I got so many things hooked up in this house. It's insane.
Totally.
Yeah.
But in all seriousness, so search at Quality Hang with Rod Brooks and on YouTube. That's where you can find it, and you can like and subscribe once he gets going on Monday. I think his YouTube channel might be set up now, so you can check it out. But he'll start Monday night, and it's going to be great stuff. Because Brooksy, like us, he knows a lot of sports, but he also knows a lot of pop culture, music, and we'll dabble with all of it. And some quick reactions. Sons of Johnny Lee says he loves the Quality Hang logo. Reminds him of the old David Letterman logo. Me too. Same thing. Then there was, they're just scrolling by so fast. But anyway, we got a lot of love for Rod Brooks today on the comments line. So Sons, thank you. And thanks to everybody for supporting Brooksy. And I'm just so happy he's going to be part of the Bay Area Sports Collective. I think that's a great addition. Great friend of ours, like Tony just outlined, but also great at what he does. And I gotta be honest with you, Tony, with Brooksy, it's not enough
that I'm getting
No.
them doing Niner stuff on the weekends. It's good, but it's not enough. I
Right.
want more Brooks, and I want Brooks like this, in this format, talking to an audience, talking about sports, showcasing his personality, and it's really great to have him back. So bravo, Brooks. I will be tuned in on Monday, man.
He is the prime example of somebody that should be doing this every day, or as much as he wants to, not being told that he can't do it. He's way too talented to not be doing this whenever he wants to do. So thrilled for Brooksy. And we were going to do the musical assignment and the particles of impeachment before we wrap today, Paulie.
Yeah.
I have Rod's musical. Well,
Nice.
actually, I have the artist. We didn't get his song, but I have the artist.
Okay.
So just FYI that when we get to that, I have the artist if you want to go to that as well.
All right, why don't we let's just start getting into that now, because it's already after 1 o'clock and I know people are hanging late with us today, and we appreciate that. We freaking love you guys. Do you want to go impeachment first and then music?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So particles of impeachment, and we got to get a proper open for this. We need a good proper particle of impeachment open. Sent to me and inspired by my buddy Tommy D'Angelo in Boston, who was tripping out on the articles of impeachment. Okay, he was talking about articles of impeachment. What if we twisted that up a little bit and gave you particles of impeachment? I go, D'Ang, that's why I freaking love your comedy brain. So behold, from Boston to San Francisco, we give you particles of impeachment. And today, Tony, it's just something I would like to I'm going to start and give you just something, one of my favorite destinations. I'll be there today after the show, getting my lunch. Swear to God. So I've been doing this every Friday now, and I got turned on by my buddy Mike Altman, who used to run Iron Springs Brewery up here in Fairfax, where you and I have gigged. And like, you guys know about my passion for pizza, right? I love pizza. It's my favorite food on the planet, hands down. I have never been like a bagel savant or like a bagel fanatic. I do like bagels, especially when they're really good. Like, I do like eating New York bagels. There's some really good spots back there, and all that stuff you hear about New York bagels. It's all true. They're really good back there. Tony, people say it's the water. I'm not sure what it is, but
it's the pause. I worked at a bagel shop. I worked at a bagel shop for a long time, and they were the bagels. The guys that own the shop were from New York.
Nice.
So they brought the recipe and the style out here. You have to boil the dough. If you don't boil the dough, you're not going to get the type of bagel that you're used to on the East Coast. So you boil the dough, and then you have to put them in the oven on those wooden boards.
Yeah, wooden board.
On the wooden boards, that creates the crispy bottom of the bagel with the cornmeal. And then when you flip them over, you don't cook them as long on the tops. So that not to get too deep into the bagel system.
Deep. I like wooden boards, boil them. I love it. Everything you're saying.
I love a good everything bagel or a good garlic bagel, or oh man, come on. Yeah, sorry.
Well,
go.
So, no, don't be sorry. So anyway, I'm hanging out and I'm talking to my buddy Mike Altman, who's kind of the mayor of San Anselmo, the town right next to San Rafael, where I live. And I was going, yo, Mike Altman, I've been going down to this one bagel shop that will remain nameless in San Rafael. This is pretty good. Not bad. It's pretty good. And he was like, dude, you know where you really need to go? And this is my particle pick of impeachment today. I got to pass this on to everybody. The bagel shop in San Anselmo, it's called Barton's, like Harris Barton, shout out HB, who, by the way, was at the Warriors game the other night. I don't know if you saw him. He was sitting courtside. HB was right there rooting for the Dubs.
Nice.
But anyway, Barton's Bagels in San Anselmo. Leah Phillips, I know you're a neighborhood girl. I don't know if you've been over there, but if I can turn anybody on to this the way Michael turned me on, it's beyond legit. First of all, they got flavors over there I never even heard of, and they're good. They're generous. They're big. They're freaking warm out of the oven. I'm heading over there for my lunch today, right after the show. So that's my particle of impeachment, Tony.
What are you getting on your bagel? Like, what do you get? You getting cream cheese? You getting like?
I like to make a little sandwich. Actually, I like cream cheese and I like some lox on there. I like the salmon on there too, and just whack that down.
You put some capers on there.
Not a big caper guy. I'll just go with the salmon and the cream cheese. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Oh, like Spicoli. Hey, bud, what's your problem?
Yeah, no, Tony. Yeah. Hey, so that's mine, Tony. Barton Bagels. If I can turn anybody on, I feel like I've done a good deed today. So, how about for you? Give me your particle of impeachment on a Friday.
Dude, it's also in the food area of life. Paulie, so we talked about this yesterday, and I just wanted to show everybody. My son has been sick for a couple of days, and so usually when I grew up, my mom and dad, mainly my mom and my grandmother, made me pastina soup. And so that's what we do for Dom and for Olivia whenever they're sick. We make them pastina soup. And so I wanted to just, my particle of impeachment today is it's the acini de pepe right there. So if you look, it's the pasta, and the box is not big. It's literally about 6 inches, maybe 5 inches. See, but that is what you add to chicken broth or vegetable broth, and you can add vegetables to it. Parmesan cheese. You can add drop an egg in there and swirl it around.
How long does it take to cook when you drop it in chicken broth?
Not very long. Maybe eight minutes or so.
And
but
the chicken broth is not boiling, is it? Is it boiling when you add it, or just hot?
Yeah. No, boiling. Boil the broth, and then you gently simmer, bring it down to a simmer. But if you can see, the pastas, they're tiny little balls, and you can also get pastina stars too. That you can get them in the shape of a star as well. So,
what do the kids prefer, balls or stars, Tony?
Hold on, dude. Sorry, I just saw a comment on the. They were talking about size, and 6 inches isn't that big. Right. Someone just said Italian penicillin. That's a great way to say it.
Stevie B. Yeah.
Pastina soup. Pastina soup. I'm telling you, it cures all. So that's what we're serving my boy right now, who's under the weather. So that's my particle of impeachment.
Hey, I dig that. Also, I dig Patty's pretty creative idea with food. I love creative food ideas, dude. I'm a big fan of getting creative with food. Patty from Napa goes, guys, try the cream cheese and turkey on a garlic bagel. Not bad. Not bad. That does sound pretty tasty. Then we got Anthony checking in. Merkovich. What's up, Anthony Merkovich? Wild sockeye salmon lox on the bagel. No farmed lox. I'm with you 1,000,000%. We're not farming lox, bro. No way. No.
Absolutely right. You're absolutely right, Anthony. That's a great call. And you know what I like to do is get an everything bagel toasted with chive cream cheese, sliced tomatoes, and avocado. And
that sounds pretty good too. That sounds pretty good too. All right, Tony. So from the particle of impeachment, as we get into the final moments, I guess, of this week of broadcasting and this week of shows. And again, thank you, Rod Brooks. Want to shout out Quality Hang with Rod Brooks and Friends, premiering on Monday on the Bay Area Sports Collective YouTube show at 8 p.m. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Rod Brooks dropping science at 8. That's going to be awesome. I'm so glad he's back. Also want to thank Andy Dolich, Bay Area sports historian, his brand new updated book, Goodbye Oakland, Winning Wanderlust, and a Sports Town's Fight for Survival. And then, Tony, it is time now for one of our favorite features of the show. You go on to...
Yes, real quick, can you hold the book up to the screen real quick just so people can see the cover? I just want to, it's a cool looking cover too. Just hold it up. Yeah. Goodbye Oakland. There it is. Cool. It's cool. And dude, I mean, seriously, Dave Newhouse, if you ever read Dave Newhouse with the Oakland Tribune, he's he's in the Scott Ostler, Bruce Jenkins category of sports writers. So it's a good book, man. So check it out. Goodbye Oakland. Seriously.
It's funny you mentioned Scott Ostler because the people that wrote little blurbs on the back of the book include Scott Ostler, Mark Purdy, Delvin Williams, dude, running back for the 49ers. Now, little kid Delvin Williams, and Stephen Vogt. They all commented on the book on the back there. So, yeah, Oakland Sports fans, you'll love it. I promise. It's a great freaking read. All right, Tony, and then as we do the musical assignment now, we're getting ready to wrap it up on a Friday, send you guys into your weekend, a great sports weekend. Shit, I didn't get to talk to Brooksy about Rockets and the Warriors. We'll do it next week. It'll be a long series.
Stand by.
The rules are there ain't no rules.
Okay, so we can do that with Rod next week. And also on our socials, we're going to retweet something that Rod just sent me. So just be on the lookout for something that Rod made earlier, and we're going to retweet that as well. So, hey, we're brothers in arms here. So lots of collaboration we'll be doing with Brooksy down the road.
Always. Rags, you have a great weekend too. Hey, listen, PMP Playlist 25. That is the name. That's where you want to be after the show. Right. Hey, hook it up with your next party, man. Get that like little portable speaker set up on your Bluetooth. Bam. You start rocking PMP Playlist 25. It's right there for you. Some people have said, some people have said that they can't find the playlist on Spotify. No problem. Again, I'll give it to you. Capital letters, PMP Playlist 25. If you have problems with that, search my username, which is PauliepX, Pauliepix. That will take you there. Okay, Tony, I want you to start the musical assignment this week, which was as follows: to celebrate the impact of Jimmy Butler, what this guy's bringing to the Warriors. And we haven't given him his own song yet. We haven't given him his own sound bites yet. We really got to start honoring this guy, especially after he leads the way against Memphis with 38 stinking points, Steph Curry right behind him with 37. But Jimmy Buckets, dude, I'm telling you, the impact of buckets, we all saw it, we all felt it. So songs that include the name Jimmy in the title, maybe the artist is named Jimmy or James, maybe there is a Jimmy in the band that you selected, or we're also accepting, Tony, songs with the name Bucket or Buckets. We're also accepting Batman and Robin references because that is like the new thing now. There's all this great artwork where Jimmy is Robin and Steph is Batman. And by the way, how cool is Jimmy Buckets for being, he's going to the Hall of Fame himself. Jimmy Butler will be in the NBA Hall of Fame someday, and he's totally fine taking a back seat to Steph and letting Steph lead, which is amazing. Although there will be nights when Jimmy is going to lead, like we saw the other night. But his attitude is right. His game is tight. I'm dropping rhymes unintentionally. I didn't mean to do that. Tony, I'm going to let you start it off this week. I'm very curious to see where you're going to honor Jimmy Buckets.
So, Paulie, real quick.
Utah, give me 2.
So I think I have
Utah, give me 2.
I have 2. I'm breaking the rules, but I have 2. And then also I have the list of people that sent in song selections. So first of all,
I want to do yours. I want to do yours, and then I want you to share the listeners in the email, and then I'll wrap with mine. And I could do 2 also. It's funny you picked 2. I got 2 sitting here also. Is that getting too excessive, or should we go double dose each?
Paulie.
The rules are there ain't no rules.
Okay, come on, buddy. Okay.
Yeah,
And
no,
also,
and by the way, just shout out to the sound of that engine. I mean, it sounds like a lawnmower. One more time, if I could.
The rules are there ain't no rules.
The best.
Is that coming at me on the Roadcaster, or is that your old technique?
That's the Roadcaster, buddy. Yeah,
I
that's
still-
the Roadcaster.
The rules are there ain't no rules.
Boom.
Hey, jot this down in your list of ideas and to do, like your list of chores. I still need help with the edits on my board. I've been
No
struggling.
problem.
Yeah.
No problem, Paulie.
Guess what?
I'll be over there. Paulie.
Okay.
Guess what?
All right,
Yeah.
So I'll be over there. First one is in honor of the fact that Jimmy is called himself Robin and Steph is Batman,
Yes.
according to Jimmy Butler. So we talked about this yesterday, Paulie, but I have the greatest hits of the Bee Gees right here on vinyl.
That's a hell of a record. I'm pissed at myself that I don't have that. That looks pretty snazzy, dude.
Hold on. If I can do this. Oh my God.
You do whatever.
Hold on.
Let me see some Brothers Gibb, dude. Let me see. And shout out to Maurice, dude. They don't give Maurice any. What is this?
Exactly.
No,
Look at that.
I don't know where to go. I don't know if I want to talk about Robin, Maurice, or Barry. All 3, dude. Slam dunks. I mean, I think I got to roll with Maurice Gibb, dude. The drummer, balding. He's got the sweep over hair. But Robin, I mean, there's so much to love. There's so much to love. Tony, speak to me. What do you got? Where are we going with the Bee Gees?
What a record. So the song I'm picking off the greatest hits is the song, Hey Jimmy Butler, You Should Be Dancing. Okay? And let's hope that you're dancing. Let's hope that you're dancing at the end of this run. Okay, You Should Be Dancing by the Bee Gees.
Tony, stop right there because we got to break this down for a second. First of all, the horn interlude. So the horns are blazing. And then I didn't learn this lyric. I had no idea you were going to pick that song. But do you know the lyrics of the song? I didn't know this lyric until probably within the last year. And I'm in my 50s. I've been hearing this song since I was a little kid. I never knew what the lyric was. The lyric is what you doing on your back in bed? What you doing on your back in bed? What you doing on your back in bed? You should be dead. That's the lyric. What you doing on your back in bed? You should be dancing. Did you know that? Yeah.
I did not know that. And see,
That's
like
why we're
you
here.
said, I'm in my 50s and I had no freaking clue. But I'm just, you know why?
Yeah.
You know why? It's because the groove, the disco groove is so thick on that tune that I just don't pay attention. I just don't pay attention to a lot of the lyrics. And then, so Jimmy Butler as Robin from Robin Gibb, You Should Be Dancing. And
Sweet.
then this is just my home run, dude. Top Jimmy cooks. Top Jimmy swings. He's got the look. Top Jimmy. He's the king. Okay.
Well, listen, here's the situation, Tony. First of all, go back. I'd rather look at the baby smoking butts, to be honest with you. I mean, the Van Halen guys, I've seen them before. Yeah. No, there they are. Dave.
Look at Roth's hair.
Well, he's like, hey, before I do my photo, get me a fan. I want my hair blowing in the wind when they shoot my picture over here. Yeah, dude, shirtless with that's what I'm talking about. Babies smoking cigs. Shout them out. Where have all the smoking babies gone, Tony? You know what I mean? You guys have no idea what it was like back in the 80s. I bet you they'd be uptight if that record hit the scene today. If like Katy Perry or Taylor Swift put that cover out, people would be, oh my God, there's a child smoking. You know what I mean? Back in my day, dude, we loved smoking babies. I was a smoking baby. All right, Tony, I love both your selections. I applaud them both. I think I'm a little bit more excited about your Bee Gees selection, to be totally honest with you.
I got to be honest. That's why I couldn't choose. I even texted you earlier today that I was having a tough time choosing between the two. So I said, you know what? You know what I said, Paulie? I said,
The rules are there ain't no rules.
That's what I said. And I said, I'm going both.
All right, thanks, brother. Well, here's what we're going to do. For the second time in show history, Tony and I have stumbled onto the exact same track. Once again, here we go. I got my own smoking baby right here. You know what I mean? I got my own smoke. I all got my own David Lee with the hair. I'll tell you, I didn't know Tony was going to do the same song I was right here.
Get out of here, dude. That's outrageous, dude.
David Lee, we want to talk about Top Jimmy a little bit right here. All right, anyway, so I'm going to have to abandon Top Jimmy, but that's the second time that's happened.
Wow. And do you have a backup?
I got a backup right here. I had a feeling. I was like, just in case. You know what I was actually worried about? I thought Brooksy might come with Top Jimmy. I really did, because I know Brooksy said one of the coolest things to me of all, like at a Van Halen concert once. I've never forgotten this. The night you were there, Tony, I was there, Brooksy was there, and our buddy Drutzy was there. It was the last Van Halen show we ever saw. Last time they toured, and then sadly Eddie passed away. So it was in 2015 at Shoreline, and I remember Brooksy was so excited to see Eddie play, and he goes, it was like a work night. It was like a Tuesday or a Wednesday, Shoreline. I'm still doing mornings. I mean, not easy. And I remember going, and Brooksy was like, dude, I'm so glad you made the gig tonight. And I'm like, yeah, if Van Halen's playing in town, bro, I'm going to the show. I don't care where or what time it is. And Brooksy was like, you know, people that say it's too hard to get out on a work night, he goes, think about it, man. He goes, at one point in time in history, there were guys having a conversation saying stuff like, hey, man, did you know Beethoven's playing down the street tonight? We should go. Because that's what this is. He likens Eddie to Beethoven. I always thought that was so cool.
Dude, that's the kind of content you're going to get from Brooksy on Quality Hang, by the way. Seriously.
He knows his music big time. So, Tony, from Top Jimmy, since we both took that one, we'll go. You should be dancing top. I know.
This happen again. I feel like apologizing to the PMP Army, but then again,
it's just great minds doing the same thing. I like to say, but Tony, no one sees this as coming. Nobody's, and it's about time these guys get on the Polymac playlist as it is. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Exhibit A, I give you from the Horrible Who, Quadrophenia. Okay, dude. One of Pete Townshend's greatest works. Honestly, he considers this to be his greatest work. His favorite record, better than Tommy, better than Who's Next, according to Pete Townsend, who wrote all this stuff. He said this is the best piece of work he's ever done. Now, incredible double album. You get the book inside. Tony, look at this. I mean, don't make any plans if you're going into Quadrophenia. Look at the book in here. This will keep you busy all freaking weekend. Wow. And it kind of gives you the scope of Pete Townshend's genius. So the idea of this record is there's schizophrenia, then there's quadrophenia, which is a 4-split personality. Okay, so not just 2 personalities, it's a 4-way split. So this album is all about this character who's got a 4-way split personality. It's pretty intense. And there's a lot of great songs. 515, Love Rain on Me, The Real Me, Punk and the Godfather, Drowned. I mean, it's unbelievable. It's an incredible piece of work. But the song I'm going with, Dr. Jimmy. Dr. Jimmy for Jimmy Butler. And I love the lyric in this song. He goes, it's sung from this character, Jimmy's perspective, and he goes, I'll take on anyone. I ain't scared of a bloody nose. I always love that lyric. I'll take on anyone. I ain't scared of a bloody nose. So Dr. Jimmy rounds it up. Tony, I know your Fish guys who honored Quadrophenia once at one of the
they did. They played it.
Something like that. Yeah.
They played it in Vegas on Halloween, and they still play Drowned. They also have this legendary. Yeah, they still play Drowned, and they jam it out. It's phenomenal. They also have this jam back in the day called The Real Gin, where it's their bathtub gin song, but in the middle of it is like a 30-minute Real Me in the middle of bathtub gin. It's Polly, actually, homework assignment review of the weekend. I'll send it to you. Maybe just dive in with the headphones later on this weekend for The Real Gin. Now, Paulie.
Dr. Jimmy, Mr. Jim. There we go. Dr. Jimmy, Mr. Jim. It's all about Jimmy Butler. Go effing Warriors. I'm very excited. Tony, finish your point. Then we'll do a long bridge, and then we'll send our classroom into their weekends. What you got for me, kid?
I've got PMP Army submissions into the
thank you. Yes,
into the musical assignment, dude. So get this, Paulie. So I'm going to start out with NorCal Refrigeration and HVAC. I see you on the list there, and I see you on the comment line, brother. And he sent in an email saying Beastie Boys from Check Your Head, Jimmy James, which is
come on.
great
Yes.
track.
Great choice, dude. Great choice. Yes.
Great track. Bonnie, aka Scarlet Fire, and Rising Wolf both sent in Road Jimmy requests.
I
Jimmy.
had my hand on it yesterday. I had my hand on Road Jimmy. I almost pulled it out, but I didn't. Okay, good. I'm glad you guys came with Road Jimmy. Great track. I hope to hear that at the Sphere, actually.
Oh man, that is a doozy of a tune. And then also Bonnie said It Hurts Me Too by Elmore James. So she also threw that in there, right? Another great request.
Bonnie knows, man. Bonnie knows her stuff. Yes, keep going.
Yeah. And then she also threw in Hell in a Bucket, which is, you know,
I
that's
almost did Hell in a Bucket too. I was this close to going Bucket. I thought Bucket would be too obvious. I really did, because I thought we'll celebrate Jimmy Buckets and send the Houston Rockets to hell all in one fell swoop. But I backed off. I wanted to do Dr. Jimmy instead, but I almost did both of those Grateful Dead songs. That's funny. Keep coming, Tony. Any other ones?
Great. Like you said, oh yeah, I do. I said so. Noemi sent on Blue Sky. By the way, thank you, Noemi, on Blue Sky. She said Martha Reeves and the Vandellas, Jimmy Mack. Okay,
wow,
Jimmy Mack.
Okay,
so I bookmarked it on Blue Sky, so I'm going to dive into that later today because I want to hear it. I don't think I've ever heard that tune. Yeah, so I'm really excited to hear that, and I feel like Noemi's ear is really eclectic, and I want more. Noemi, bring more. Yeah. Noemi's husband Ray sent in Jimmy Olsen's Blues by the Spin Doctors, which is a random. That is crazy that he sent that, because I remember that track. Spin Doctors were short-lived. I don't even think they still tour. Like I don't know if they still tour anymore, but they were like in the Blues Traveler realm, kind of in the same timing back in New York. Both those
remember
bands.
Oh yeah,
Jimmy Olsen's Blues from Ray, and then we have I had one more. Sorry. Oh, then we have Doug from Japan. He came in with Smashing Pumpkins Siva, Siva, because of James.
What, Jimmy Chamberlain?
No, because of James Eha.
It's a double dip Jimmy situation in the Pumpkins. I didn't even think of that. I got Eha and I got Eha. Okay, name alone could easily be my favorite guitar player just based on his name, James Eha. And by the way, he fucking rips Eha, dude. We saw him in Oakland. I was blown away. He's amazing. And then Jimmy Chamberlain on drums. You got a double Jimmy threat right there. Great call. Great call.
That's what happens with Smashing Pumpkins. When he left the band, the sound changed, and then he came back. Right.
Yeah. No, Jimmy, no dice, dude. No Jimmy, no dice. And by the way, John Joseph, sorry to interrupt you, Tony, but he's got relevant stuff here. Why is nobody talking Out of the Cellar with the late, great Robin Crosby? Robin Crosby, for Christ's sakes. You know what I'm saying, Tony?
Great freaking call, John Joseph. That is a great freaking call. There's also Rags is saying James Taylor.
Very unusual for Rags to submit some James Taylor, but we'll take it.
I can absolutely see Rags like just walking through the house like singing James Taylor.
I've seen fire and I've seen rain. You don't really get Rags singing James Taylor very often. I can assure you of that. Yeah.
Maybe his next guest hit on with us, we'll ask him to sing some James Taylor.
Why not?
Stinking Badges says Jimmy Eat World, the middle, which my kids love that tune. I'm seeing 38 special calls. Somebody's saying some 38 special. So
also there's Anthony Merkovich. I got to tell you, I thought about Jimmy Page too. I felt like I've been overdoing it with Zeppelin. Honestly, I don't want to go too much. I mean, for me, it's never enough. I'll go Zeppelin 24/7 if you want me to. Yeah, but I didn't want to overdo it with the audience, Anthony. That's why I held back. I don't want to start pissing people off. He's like, you always talk Zeppelin. And the same reason I held back with the Grateful Dead. I don't want to be too specific, too obvious.
Dom, you say that, Paulie, because funny you say that, Paulie, because I at first was going to pick a My Morning Jacket song for Jim James, the lead singer of My Morning Jacket.
That was my prediction in my head. I go, I guarantee you, Tony's coming with Jacket. Is definitely going to throw some Jacket on the table, and you didn't.
No, but then the top Jimmy and the You Should Be Dancing Robin Gibb. I mean, like there's just no offense to My Morning Jacket. I love the band, but when it comes to
You Should Be Dancing is going to trump everything. That might be the greatest track on the entire playlist as it stands right now. I mean, and by the way, in that scene in the movie, Travolta's going ape shit on the dance floor, bro. He's doing like knee bends. He's rolling around like precursor to breakdancing. He's going crazy. When was the last time you dialed up Fever, dude? The movie Fever.
Oh, dude, ages. Maybe I should do it this weekend. But Paulie, I have 3 more and we're done. Okay, 3 more.
Okay.
First of all, Rod Brooks, before the show, before he came on, he said his musical assignment pick was, and he didn't say the tracks, and maybe we can pick the track, but he said he is all about James Brown lately. He's been listening to a ton of James Brown lately.
Yes.
So it's funny that we should ask for James or Jim songs. So if we want to pick a James Brown song, Paulie, I'll leave that up to you. And then we have Dom Peralta. Dude, Dom, thank you for the super, brother. Thank you. And he says, going off the rails for my pick, Goodfellas intro. There was Jimmy and Tommy, and there was Johnny Echoes. Dude, wow.
Want to get Jimmy 2 times? Yeah, that's Jimmy 2 times. You want to get the papers? Get the papers. You know what's so funny about that, Dom? That's like the only piece of production I ever did that was any good. Honestly, somehow I bullshitted my way into that creative director job for about a year. I have no idea. Bob Agnew in the job interviews, like, Paulie, how's your Pro Tool skills? I'm like, oh, real good. I know the program inside now. I just got to get a little updated on the new version, which, dude, I knew nothing, but I needed the gig, so I took it anyway. I built that piece, Dom. Thank you for the compliment.
Dude.
And thank you for being a super. Yes, T.
Yeah, thank you, Dom. Thank you. Hey, Jamar, should we go with Jamar's choice for James Brown? He says big payback for Jamar. I mean, for James Brown. Right?
Done.
Thank you, Jamar, for that. And also, Rags is trying to outdo his James Brown or James Taylor with Rick James. And Ray Goodman also says Super Freak. So we got Rick James and Super Freak being thrown in there. And lastly, Paulie, Steve Bisecchio, he sent in 3. Okay.
All right.
He sent in Jim Croce, Don't Mess Around with Jim, which I love,
man.
Jim Croce. I grew up on Jim Croce, man. My parents played it in the house all the time. I love Croce. Then he said Jimmy Cliff, Harder They Come.
Shit, good one. Yeah.
But here's the thing. He also said Dr. Jimmy by The Who. And he said that in
I told you, dude, me and you got some kind of thing going. I can feel it. That's awesome. I didn't think anybody, Tony, you didn't think I was going to come with Dr. Jimmy. Did you?
No. But I saw Steve's email. I think he sent it yesterday. I'm like, dude, that's a great call. And then
so
boom,
when I pulled out Quadrophenia, did you know where I was going?
Yes. Once you did, and I saw Steve commenting like, "Hey, I think I know somebody else who picked that song." So.
Nice. Well, hey, you guys, thanks for playing the musical assignment with us. We'll do it every week too. I try, and Tony, remind me on Thursdays. I always wanted to give it a day ahead of time so people and Steve Bisecchio, Quadrophenia, you're number 1. I got to be totally honest. Quadrophenia is such a intense piece of work. I'm not Tony. It took me like 10 years to wrap my head around that album. Like it's not that. It's not as commercial as like Who's Next or any of that stuff. It's a way deeper kind of story he's telling there. But now that I finally get it, and I love it. So I feel you, Steve. All right, everybody, listen. What else can we do, Tony? I think we've done everything we can.
We get last question for you, Paulie. I just had. I'm nervous about Sunday, 6:30 p.m. Okay, do you think honestly, and no, come on, don't bullshit me, right? So come on, real quick.
Don't bullshit me.
Do you think the Dubs can pull off Game 1 in Houston?
100%. Yes.
Okay. Good.
Yes.
Good.
Absolutely. I don't see any reason why not. In fact, I'd rather if they have to split, I'd rather get Game 1 than Game 2. I don't want to come back. I want them punch them in the face right out of the gate. Ooh. And it's all about jumping out to a nice early start. The Warriors need to keep that good first quarter streak going to set the tone. You got to set the tone. Play up tempo basketball. Don't get mired into their guerrilla tactics. They're going to try to be really physical. Don't play their game. Play your game. That's what I say.
And also, dude, use all those fouls, Quentin Post. Use all those fouls, Guy Santos. Use them.
Give me another one of those hard screens. You need to put somebody on their ass again. You go right ahead, dude. Again, one of my favorite moments of that whole game was that screen he set on Pippen, dude.
Yeah, and fine. It's an illegal screen, fine, but he popped him, dude, and that guy was laying on the ground.
Yeah. No, he had to regroup his shit. He didn't know what was going on. It was great.
And Scottie Pippen Jr., right? Because he was mugging Curry all freaking night, dude. And they're going to be mugging Curry in Houston. You know it. So just expect it. But hey, Dubs, respond in kind, right?
Yeah.
Do the same thing. do the same thing. So I'm
Um,
excited for the game. But like, gosh, we could talk about Longbridge too. About you can just go to Longbridge to watch the game if you want, because they're going to be open on Sunday for Easter Sunday.
yes,
Paulie,
let's get
You go
into it.
right
Let's
into
wrap.
go.
Yeah, let's wrap it with a nice Longbridge spot today as we head into the weekend. Longbridge Pizza, 3rd Street, San Francisco. The exact street location, 2347 3rd Street. Neil Denardi. One of our guiding lights here on Polymax Particles. Our first sponsor will always have a special place in our hearts for Longbridge because they're the first guys that ever hooked up with us, and that was a big deal. It still is a big deal for us. And they've been unbelievably gracious and accommodating with all the stuff that we're doing on the show. Oh, by the way, dude, it took me the entire show to realize you moved Squatch up high. Steal your Squatch. He's got a new spot.
I did. He
took me
Squatch is actually, look at this. Steal your Squatch is actually like hanging. See that?
I told you to hang it. I told you yesterday. I said, start looking around. You got to hang that thing, dude. Can you spin it? Can you spin the Squatch?
Yeah.
Nah, don't do any damage. Hey, don't mess it up. But I love that. And it took me an hour and 40 minutes to finally realize that. Anyway, it looks great. Tony,
like Sasquatch, he kind of hides out. It kind of hides out just like Sasquatch does. Sorry, Paul.
Steal your Squatch right off your head. Okay, Tony, the Vibe Tribe, the steal your Squatch, the Sasquatch. You know what I mean? Tony, the Vibe is waiting for you, and the Vibe Tribe awaits at Longbridge Pizza, that laid-back vibe, that serious pizza. The pizza's phenomenal. Mm-hmm. One of the secret weapons that they're serving up over there is the sourdough crust. I can't emphasize that enough. As a pizza connoisseur like myself, I don't think I've had sourdough crust prior to going to Longbridge. So it was kind of a new taste for me. And it was funny because Tony's the one who identified it. And we were the first time we went in there, we're eating it. I'm like, there's something going on here. There's like a certain tanginess to it. And Tony was like, that's the sourdough crust. I'm like, God damn, the sourdough crust. Boom, that is it. So anyway, the pizzas are phenomenal. The sandwiches are phenomenal. They have a variety of cold beers waiting for you. And I mentioned this earlier, and I want to start hitting this point a little bit more often. I should have done this previously, but now's a good time to start. They can accommodate private parties. 20, 25 people is the limit, but they do have a great space there with a plethora of big screens so you can watch all the games this weekend. And with a day like tomorrow, with 4 different NBA playoff games going on, it's a great place to drop anchor and just hang out and have great lunch, have a great dinner, have some beers with your friends and family, and enjoy all the games at Longbridge Pizza. Call them up, longbridgepizza.com, place your order, they'll deliver it right to your house in San Francisco, Tony. So that's about the best I can do when I describe greatness. Yeah.
I got more, Paulie. They're open on Easter Sunday, this Sunday. So, like I said, go brunch with your family, and then when everybody needs a good thing about family is there's space is healthy, right? So, if you need some space for your family, or bring your family to Longbridge for the Dubs on Sunday night. And also Longbridge is open throughout the entire Warriors playoff run. Hopefully, it's a very long run, and go there before if you're going to any of the home games coming up. Go to Longbridge beforehand, and then also we always say take the train if you're coming from the peninsula. Get off at the 22nd Street exit. It's a great 7-minute walk right through the dog patch. And they've been broadcasting our show today, and every Friday they're going to be broadcasting high noon every Friday, which is just great news. Paulie, I want to go there one day and broadcast from there in the back room on a high noon Friday, so we can do that. And we're also talking about hopefully maybe getting some kind of a Warriors show or hang or something at Longbridge very, very soon. So don't forget about Paulie's Stash behind the counter, and they're open on Sunday, and they're open throughout the whole Warriors run. And Fish plays next Tuesday and Wednesday at Bill Graham Civic. Go to Longbridge for a nice Fish pre-party.
I've been saying this for years. By the way, I got to read Rags' final comment. Turn it loose this weekend, PMP family. Remember, bad decisions make for epic stories. And last thing, hail Satan. Hail Satan on Easter Sunday weekend seems appropriate. Rags, also, we're talking Satan. It's Easter Sunday coming up. I got to say, your whole concept of going to Longbridge before Fish, I'm going to vouch for this, and I'm going to tell you why.
Yeah.
Having the proper food base in your system when you're going into a show like that is critical. It's freaking critical. First of all, you don't want hunger pangs in the middle of a show. Now I'm waiting online for concessions and I'm missing something cool during the show. I don't want to have that happen, which means the proper pregame meal. It's as important as a guy running the New York City Marathon in my mind. Because you got and the pizza makes for the perfect base. Believe me, I've been doing it for 30 years, man. Pizza is a go-to for a pregame meal. That's just me talking, Tony. But how about yourself?
So, Paulie, I couldn't agree more. And it's kind of like when you want to. Oh, where is it? Please let me help me find it. Nope, I can't find it. Shoot, I'm looking for. Sorry, Paulie. There it is. There it is. No. Oh, yeah. Here we go. When you dive into Particle Land. Okay.
Don't go to Particle Land on an empty stomach. I can tell you that.
Look at this guy.
There he is.
Welcome to Particle Land.
Oh.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you, my pointy-eared brother. I do appreciate that. Hey, Jamar points out too that it's the it's the Giants and Satan taking on the California Angels this weekend. That is an interesting matchup. I love that we're suddenly affiliated with Satan. Satan is now part of the polymath particle community, I guess. Might as well stay in good standing with him too. I guess it can't hurt. Just don't get too close.
On the way out, before I dismiss the class, if you could just have Satan wish everybody a happy Easter, I think that'd be very good.
I just want to make sure everybody has a safe, happy, and healthy Easter Sunday. After all, it is Good Friday, y'all. So, chocolate bunnies ahoy, paint up those Easter eggs, hide them from the kids. I gotta tell you, dude, I'm starting to lose it. Everybody, straighten out.
All right, Satan's back. Satan's out. Tony, nice to freeze that video. Check out my guy right there, dude. His eyes are swimming. I'm telling you, his teeth are like neon, dude. Again, that'll be about a 10 for me. That'll be about a 10 for me next Thursday at the Sphere, night 1 of 3. All right, here we go. Noemi, Basicchio, Anthony, Rags, Dom, Merkovich. Dude, Merkovich, my guy Anthony Merkovich. I just want to say thank you, everybody. Jamar, we love all of you guys. Miguel, thank you also. John Joseph, thank you, Sanchi. Yes.
Hold on. Brooksy just checked in. He wants to just try one more time. Dude, Paulie, real quick. I got Brooksy. Hold on. We're gonna hold on, Paulie. This is just a quick. Hold on, Brooksy, you there?
Come on.
Where's Brooksy?
Come
hey,
on.
he's back. He's
Am
back.
I there?
You're back. Yes.
Yeah. Woo! Woo!
Brooksy's back.
Love you guys. Thank you for the support. Quality Hang with Rod Brooks and friends this Monday, 8 o'clock. We're starting every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 8 o'clock live on YouTube at Quality Hang. First guest, you know what it is. You know who it is. It couldn't be anybody but the legend, Bob Fitzgerald.
Yeah,
we're joining me from Houston to talk Dubs and Rockets. I'm conflicted because, of course, I love the Dubs. I love Steph, but I'm from H-Town, baby. Throw up the H's.
Yeah,
I'm a lapsed Rockets fan. I hated that Chris Paul, Russell Westbrook, James Harden. I hated that team. I didn't like the way they played.
Yeah.
This Rockets team, though, I'm digging them, man. So
no, I know.
I finally got it right. Thanks to my man Matt Kirk, my IT guy, for helping me figure it out. And thank you guys for letting me come on before screwing it up and then let me extend the show a little bit longer. I love y'all to death.
Love you, Brooksy. Good luck. I'll be watching on Monday night, dude. I want to see the return of Fitz and Brooks. I'm all over that, man. Quality Hang. If you're just joining us as we're kind of wrapping up today, I want everybody to remember Rod Brooks launches his new show Monday night, Quality Hang. You see the logo right there, inspired by Letterman, Rod Brooks and friends. Bobby Fitz joins Rod on Monday night at 8 o'clock. That's the perfect way to kick things off. We had a conversation with Brooksy a couple of weeks ago. It's so great to catch up with him. And Tony, final thoughts, dude, on the way out.
Brooksy, that is, like you said, there's no better way to start your Quality Hang than with Fitz. That's such great news. And second of all, Tolbert, I forgot to say this earlier. Speaking of the Bay Area Sports Collective, Tolbert is going live right after the game from Houston. He'll be live on Sunday night, after the game from the arena. And I believe Tim Roy will probably join him, his counterpart in the Warriors broadcast. I believe Tim will join him from. So check out Tolbert on Sunday night. Check out us Monday, or John Lund, 8 a.m. Monday morning. Check out us at 11 a.m. Monday morning. And then check out Brooksy Monday night with Fitz from Houston in the Quality Hang.
Real quick,
Almost
Rod,
like we know what we're doing. It's crazy.
Steve Patricio, Rod Brooks, looking forward to the new show. Dom, right on Rod. John Joseph, I'm so there. Fitz and Rod, right the F on. Miguel, Bay Area Sports Collective is better with Rod Brooks. I couldn't agree more, man. That's why we're with them. Hey, Patrick Patton, thanks for checking in today, brother. And there it is again. Rod, we can't wait. So, Brooksy, the people are speaking and they're very excited. I'm just giving you a couple of highlights here real quick, and I think we've covered them all. They keep scrolling by. It's crazy. I'm going to wear it on a chain like Flavor Flav. Thank you, Jamar. We appreciate that. Anthony, Rod, get on the air. I love this, Brooksy. The people are excited, and dude, we're all about it. Welcome to the Bay Area Sports Collective. We're all pulling the same rope, man, and it's great to have you. And we'll be talking again as this thing unfolds and goes down the road. Brooksy, have a great weekend. Tony, have a great weekend. Hey, tell Rod to stay on while we dismiss the class. Yeah.
I was going to say, I think it's very apropos that Rod's here with us, and I'm going to just dismiss the class. Rod, stand by.
Class dismissed.
Hell yeah. Yeah, you see what I mean? Pulls you right in, dude, right in. And then on the way out, Tony, one more time, it's been a great week of shows here on Polymac Particle. So thank you to all. Thank you, Andy Dolich. Thank you, Rod Brooks. And thank you, everybody on the comments line. You guys are a great audience. I couldn't ask for a better audience. Thank you for being a part of this thing. We're having a great time together. That's the key. We're doing it together. And Brooksy, now part of the extended community too. Bay Area Sports Collective, onward and upward. Everybody have a great weekend. Peace. Y'all be safe. We'll see you on Monday at 11 o'clock. Enjoy, y'all. Happy Easter, too. There you go.
Happy Easter.